society today, we are being attacked constantly with inauthentic conversations. Fakeness, trying to look cool, trying to be somebody we're not. That is why the Damn Dude podcast is here to have the authentic conversations that need to be had in a way that will make you think and say, Damn Dude. Damn Dude.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn, dude.
This is season 3, episode 13. Welcome to the show, you guys. I'm your host, California Cal, and this show exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on the different contexts and perspectives that we have in life. So I wanted to say, I came across a discovery in a context that of what this show is. And this came to me last night. Let's see if I can read this in a way where it's like cohesive. Okay, so this show, the Damn Dude podcast, this show is the seam of life, which contains a safe space for all contexts and perspectives within the scope of our existence. To harness the power of all that is good. Let me start over. I messed it up. This is what the show is for, and I'm declaring it. This show is the seam of life, which contains a safe space for all contexts and perspectives within the space of our existence, to harness the power of all that is great and good on this planet, in humanity, of the gods, and of the solar system. This show's existence emerges from the harnessing and cultivating of love made from the struggles and lowest pits life has to offer, and share it with you to show you you are not alone, you have options, you are loved, and that it is possible to have what you want in life.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
That's what the show exists for. And how I was seeing this is like a picture, like a basketball and a seam on a basketball. If you were to just kind of cut the basketball like open and kind of make it like a C shape, right? If you just kind of dug out the middle of it. I was thinking it's like, okay, you can't, like, kind of like a bowl shape, right? Or like if you cut a basketball in half, you kind of have like a bowl, right? If you held it that way. And let's say you filled that half a basketball with water. The most bottom and middle seam is the one going to be doing all the heavy lifting for that entire water filled into that half a cut basketball, right? So basically, I'm seeing the world and the universe as this basketball. And you don't necessarily have to cut it in half. It's just for the visual representation. So I'm seeing the world as this whole ball, this basketball. And this show is just one of the seams that holds the whole thing together. Now, I realize it's bold to state that. And I'm okay with that because that's the power of the show. And I have to declare it and make it real in order for it to be real. Right? So that's what I want to do with this show, and that's what I'm doing, is to create a safe space, to create to just be a seam in life which holds things together, which is a safe place for all contexts, all perspectives, and everything in the scope of our existence. To be able to harness the power of all that is great and good in this planet, in humanity, of the gods, and of the solar system.
Damn, dude.
The seam is to harness that. So I want to create this show, I created this show, and it is the seam which holds a safe space for all context perspectives within the scope of our existence, to harness the power of all that is great and good on this planet, in humanity, of the gods, and of the solar system. So this is a place to tap into that. This I'm realizing something. I want this show to be an outlet to tap into God. Now, I'm not saying I'm God or this. I mean, I am God. I'm my own God. God exists within me, right? Just the same way God exists within you. That doesn't make you the God or me the God. It just makes us a God or have a piece of God, right? Essentially meaning if like religion is touchy to you, and I mean, I'm not even speaking on behalf of religion, and that's what's fucked up about religion. I heard Garrett White say yesterday, I had to leave religion in order to find God. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the case a lot of times. But sometimes for some people, that's exactly the right, perfect thing. So if I can be this space that harnesses the goodness of God and the universe's gifts and nature's gifts, Pachamama's teachings, its gifts, its beauty, all that is good and great of this planet and of God and of nature. This is now a platform and a safe space for all that to exist and move forwards.
Damn, dude.
So, this is a place where we can plant seeds of goodness and greatness from the gods, from humanity, from nature, from context, from perspective, from living life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's fascinating. And I realize this is exactly why I had to grow up as me, being half Chinese, half Norwegian, finding my racial identity all like to be a difficult challenge for me all the time growing up. Never Asian enough, never white enough. And then at the same time, it's like I grew up with a black family also. And then like modern day people are like, oh, you have no idea what it's like to be black. Da, da, da. It's like, okay, well, yes. But at the same time, like, fuck, I grew up in a black family. Like, what does that mean or account for, right? That's in the coding of my DNA to some capacity. So I think about that and I'm like, I really relate to black struggles, not like as a black person, but in terms of what the struggle is, in terms of finding like your racial home, right? So that's a whole nother thing. And that's what's fascinating about being white, especially specifically being black or white. It's like, neither of those are a race or an ethnicity. It's just like the labeling of what each other called each other. And that's a trip, right? And then it kind of like goes into like how there's a lot of people and a lot of believings and a lot of things that say like there is intelligence encoded in melanin. And this is why I understand why a lot of black people are proud to be black, because there's a certain technology or knowing or understanding or code inside of melanin that gives people, I don't know, different vibrations. So that's what's fascinating is like, if you look at typically black people got more bop, more bounce, more swag, they're just like flowy. They got rhythm, all that stuff. Then you look at white people and they don't have it. I mean, some, but not in just generalizing. And what I heard and learned, because I study a lot of different shit, and these, like two older black dudes were talking, and they were talking about how it's the melanin, it's the code or the DNA of the melanin which provides that bounce, that this, that coolness, that swag, that flow, the rhythm. And then like, it's weird because if you think about it, then you look at like all the different ethnicities and the way that they move and how they move. And it's like, it kind of like, as people get lighter shades, like they still kind of got that groove in them. Like Asians can dance like a motherfucker. Mexicans can dance like a motherfucker. Like Latin people, I should say. And then Indians, they fucking groove and all this shit. And then it goes wider and wider. And like, as you go wider and wider, the people are more stiff and they can't fucking like dance very well, right? So as funny as that is, there's gotta be some kind of truth to it, because why the fuck is that? Right? Like, what is that? So that's what's fascinating to me. It's like, okay, so then if I am not a melanated person, what does that make me? What does that make white people? If originally we all life started in Africa. Now, there's a lot of theories to this. I can go down a million rabbit holes because, yeah, let's do that another one. So, how did I get off on that? Anyway, I've been watching all sorts of different videos and listening to shit, so that's probably why. But how did I get off on that? Excuse me. Okay, anyways. Okay, I know where I was going with all that. So anyway, if we can harness the greatest good of the planet, the solar system, and all this stuff, and let it be contained within this. This is the thing, is like, within this show, and listening to this show, and talking about the show, this show provides a platform for you to be able to say and do whatever you want through me. And I realized, like, dude, that's kind of how Andy Frisella hits for a lot of people, I've noticed, is that oftentimes people will let Andy Frisella be the voice of them. And it's like, oh, I'll share what he said. This is how I feel too. And he's always like, man, fuck that. Quit being a pussy. Like, you got to say this shit yourself, you know? Like, learn from me and then say it yourself, you know? And that's cool to share and all that, but it's like, all right, cool. Like, okay, that's kind of the direction I want to be able to go. I want to be able to let this be able to speak for humanity, people, society, whatever, right? Like, if this show can speak for people, no, I don't want the show to speak for people. I want the show to be able to help you to speak for yourself. There you go. Kind of going in circles. Anyway, let's keep moving forwards. So think about this. And all these words I chose very carefully in this whole little thing I'm reading. This show's existence emerges from the harnessing and cultivating of love made from the struggles and lowest pits life has to offer. And share it with you to show you're not alone, you have options, you are loved, and that it's possible to have what you want in life.
Damn, dude.
So, the show exists because of the harnessing and cultivating of love made from the struggles and lowest points in life. That's deep. Think about that. I know it's like, you got to go into the mines to get the diamonds. They come from the lowest, deepest pits. You got to dig down to get the gold. You got to get dirty. You got to fucking do all that. But then once you went and you got dirty, you put in your work, you did your time, you did all that stuff, you come back, and now you got your motherfucking diamond, your gold, your treasure, right? So this show's existence is a treasure because it emerges from the pits. It emerges from the lowest lows. The birth of this show came from the lowest points, and with the understanding that there's also high points, and high points and low points are just points of life, and it's not good or bad. They're just are. It's just up or down. It doesn't mean good or bad, right? So what I'm doing is taking all the lowest lows and struggles and the times I wanted to kill myself, the times I wasn't good enough, the times I failed, all the times I fucking suffered, my relationships failed, my family failed, my this, that, my business failing, everything falls apart, right? And this also comes from having best friends be murdered, losing my, sister, grandma, my aunt, my second mom, just all these people, right? A ton of friends, all this. And I've stood underneath the fucking dirt, basically, and rised up to choose positivity in the midst of wanting to fucking... It's like being somebody who was severely depressed for periods of time, being somebody who wanted to kill myself, being somebody who was never smart enough, being somebody who could never say the right things, being somebody who was bad in school. I was literally almost an all F student. Like I would have maybe an A or B in like advisory or PE or something, right? Just because I showed up. Coming from all that, feeling like I'm dirty, being considered dirty because of my ethnicity, my race, being bullied, being fucking chased home, you know, all of that shit, it goes into this show to show you that it's okay. Because at one point I was standing there with a gun to my head in the mirror. And I realized, and what I keep realizing, and I keep realizing, and what I keep hearing different thought leaders say too, is like, dude, and it's interesting because I came up with this on my own, and then I've been hearing other thought leaders say it, which is, when you get to a point of suicide, it's because you feel alone and you feel you have no options. This is why, if you guys are really listening, you understand that as I raise my kids and I live my life, and what I do for people is to present them with options. I load my children with options, and I tell them, and this is where my basis of raising my kids come from, is like, all right, how do I keep my kids alive? Well, if my kids can choose life, then that's one way to stay alive, right? Rather than just kind of like going through life. So if they can continuously choose life on purpose, then that's a good thing. So how I did that is, or how I'm doing that, or what I'm trying to do, I guess I should say, is to load them with the understanding that at their baseline of a human being, they have options. So with me, without me, with their mom, without their family, anything, they know they have options. So what options do you have if you feel like you want to kill yourself? Because if you feel like you want to kill yourself, then you feel like you have no options. And that's why you want to kill yourself. So this is the thing is, like I said, if you're really paying attention, this is why I'm so big on, look, anytime anything happens, you can learn or be offended. And that's what I think is the genius inside of all this, is because those are options. And if at the baseline you feel like shit, you want to kill yourself, all this stuff, and your last thought is, I can learn or be offended. You now all of a sudden automatically have options which pull you out of this pit. And if people understood that they had options, things wouldn't have to go as gnarly as they're going, right? So, whatever you guys can do to load your kids with the understanding of options, that's going to be the most beautiful and helpful thing you can do for them. Because options equal infinity. And within the infinity, anything is possible. Because options mean that anything is possible. Anything is an option. Anything's choosable. So that's the thing, is like, well, when you feel like you have no options, the last option is to off yourself. And that's not an option. The options are learn or be offended. And this is why I'm going to always drill this into my kids. And it's like, I'm going to always come from, look, do what you love, discover what you love, do everything what you love. That's my first context. But then secondly, after that, the backup to that, you got to consider, it's like, there's going to be modes where kids are going to take I guess people, kids, whatever. All people are kids, right? At some point. We're going to take the thing and be, Damn, what am I going to say? How I was going to say that kind of fell apart. Okay. I know. So it's like, when you're in a good state of mind, certain messages your parents or society or whoever instilled in you are going to be left and resonate with you. At the same time, when you feel like shit, the same thing is going to happen. So when you're feeling good or you're feeling bad, the prominent messages that you're equipped with are going to pop up, and that's going to be your baseline. So it's like I want to prepare my kids to have their positive and their unhappy backup, like context. So it's like, all right, if I'm in a good state of mind, I'm continuously looking for what do I love? What do I love to do? How can I help this world? How can I make this a better place? How can I help more people, have a lot of fun, and make a lot of money? Versus, well, not versus, but and to have my kids equipped with the understanding that when they feel like shit, you can learn or be offended. And those are your two options. Always, at all times, no matter what. Because I'm telling you, when you got options, anything's possible. Why do you think, like, have you ever been in the situation where, I don't know, it's just having options is fucking great. Like, if you think about it in any circumstance, like, I remember being in, like, junior high or high school and, like, 2 or 3 or multiple different girls like me at one time. And I'm like, wow, I got options. Like, interesting. You know, and like, when you see that, you feel cool as fuck. Like, I remember being like, damn, I could go out with that girl, that girl, that girl, or that girl. Damn, this is interesting. I have options. Whoa. And it's like, and then at the same time, like, dude, go to a restaurant, go to a whatever. The options make things is what makes it cool or good or not, right? It's like, what options do I have? And that's the thing, is when you have options, you feel cool, you feel tight, you feel smart, you feel like a fucking pimp on a blimp eating shrimp. Like, you just, excuse me. So, yeah. So this is why this show exists, because like I said, I went to the pits to collect the perspectives, to come back with this gem and offer it and share it with you guys to show you you're not alone. You have options, you are loved, and that it is possible to have what you want in life.
Damn, dude.
So, I'm working on the you can have what you want in life part. And I realized that I'm good at getting what I want. I just have to really want what it is, and then I get it. And I think that's something that scared me for a long time, is that I get everything I want. It's just, what do I really want? So now it's like a matter of fine-tuning and tuning my vision to be bigger, my plans to be bigger, more expansive, a bigger footprint. Because I've been able to get and have everything I want on a smaller scale. So why can't I get and have everything I want on a bigger scale? Like, what's even the difference? You know, if we all have to work hard in life anyways, why not, like, put all the focus on bigger, better things if you have to work hard anyways? Right? Like, you're going to have to struggle in life anyways, you know? So that's what I'm thinking about and looking at, is like, I'm getting ready to move out of this place. I don't know where I'm going exactly yet. And that's fine. It's perfect. I'm kind of taking a huge leap of faith under the context of, all right, like, you have to leave where you're at. It's like, there's so many examples that just rushed through my head right now. But it's like, you have to let go of what you got in order to get what you want. So it's like the example of, like, oh man, there's so many things running through my head. But there's the last version of this I saw was like a meme about, like, Jesus and some kid or something. And it was like, Jesus is standing there. He's like looking down, talking to this little girl. And the little girl has her, like, stuffed animal, right? And it's all beaten, old, and whatever. And Jesus has, like, a new pimp ass animal, stuffed animal hidden behind his back. And he's like, dear, let go of that one. Here, let me have that one so I can give you a better one. She says, no, I don't want to let go of this one. This is mine. I like it. What if da-da-da? And he's like, yo, like, you got to just trust in me. Trust in me. If you let go of that one, you will receive 10 times better and bigger. And, you know, and I was like, huh. So that's exactly it. It's like, I'm letting go of this place to be able to upgrade into something better. Because it's like, what is it like? What's that crazy one? If there's something you got to give, there's always something you got to give up to have everything you want. There's always something you got to give up to have everything you want. And that's the thing, is like, you have to give up stuff in order to get what you want. So that's the thing, is like, I'm looking at this in a different way, in a very physical sort of way, which is like, all right, I'm going to give up this house so I can get a house that I want. And like I said, it's like, I don't even have a fucking plan. I don't know where I'm going. There's a good chance I could be ending up going to have to go stay with my mom or my dad or whoever. And if that so happens, that's fine. I can, I talked to my mom already. It's okay if that needs to be. And at the same time, I'm not planning on that. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's just let go. Let's just fucking flourish. Like, I'm just going to try and fucking fly, right? I'm just going to jump and just start flapping my wings and see what the fuck happens. Because what's the worst that can happen if you take a chance? What happens if you lose your house, you lose your job, you lose your girlfriend, you lose your wife, you lose your husband? What happens? Well, then I feel sad. Like, okay, then what? Well, then I'm upset. Okay, well, then what? Right? Like, then what? Now what? What are you going to do? Right? So this is why it's important to understand that we have options, because when shit really cracks off and hits the fan, you could be like, oh, this and that. Nah. Or you could be like, all right, this happened. I'm going to feel through it. And then I'm going to work on, getting healthier and stronger and this or whatever the fuck your thing is, right? So that's the power of options. So let's opt for the better and best things. Let go of the stupid shit we think is so important, and let it go so we can welcome the new. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're going to grow and expand. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right bicycle.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? We bicycle. I'm so stuck on that. What I mean? Welcome, everybody. We bike. I got that from fucking Plies, dude. Well, what did he keep saying? He used to always say, "Now we ain't gonna go bike around here. We ain't gonna go biking forth." Bike. So if you don't know, and you always wonder why I say welcome bicycle, is because it's been evolving from welcome back to welcome bike to welcome bicycle. So that's where you get welcome bicycle my tricycles from. Welcome bike. Welcome bicycle. It didn't even occur to me that might not make sense for a lot of people, or that just very easily makes sense and it doesn't even need explaining. I'm not really sure where that falls or lies. I don't but it cracks me up every time. So whatever, it is what it is. That's what's cool about having your own show, is like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, how you want, say what you want, and who's gonna tell you otherwise, right? Like, what are you even gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? It's funny when you are somebody who talks your shit and you say your shit, it's like you're kind of uncancelable because you've already said all the shit anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of something I take comfort in, is like, what are you going to do? Cancel me? I'm already not popular. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know a lot of people, and I wouldn't consider myself popular. It's weird. Kind of even in school, I was never really popular, but I was like one of those people who knew everybody and knows everybody. But I'm not like the popular or cool person. I don't even know. That's at least what I think. And isn't that funny? It's like, who does the cool? Wow, I never even thought of that. It's like, you got the coolest person in school. Who do they think is the coolest person in school? Or are they just like, I'm the coolest person in school, and that's why they're the coolest person in school? Huh. You know, if you were one of the coolest people in school, can you please let me know leave a comment on Apple Podcasts or hit my DMs on Instagram or something, right? Like, because what the fuck? Anyways, where are we going to go with this? Damn, this is deep. There's two, Okay, what do you guys want to hear about? We're either going to go on some trippy shit about life and generations, or can I do both? You know what? Fuck it. Let's do both. Okay. I'm going to get into that ancestors and generations thing lastly. Also, I have never said it in words, so I kind of want to like let it come to me a little bit more. But the next thing I was going to say is what's fascinating, ladies, fellas, gentlemen, gentlewomen, aggressive men, aggressive women. Yo, that's funny. Why have I never heard that before? Where you got gentleman, gentlewoman, but never fucking aggressive man or aggressive woman, or like, oh, she's a fine angry man. She was a fine angry woman. He was a fine angry man. Why is that the only gentleman? He's a gentleman. You know, what is the girl version of a gentleman? I have no idea. The missus. Okay, anyways. Let's actually fucking start talking about stuff. So now that we've talked about what this whole show stands for and what I want it to represent in terms of its existence in the universe, that's the way that it's a seam. Like the way how I talk about like cutting my piece out of the pie, weaving my fibers of fabric of life. That fabric, that weaving, that path is the seam that I'm creating and leaving behind. So being that that's the shell of the show, that puts into perspective for me that most men, most of us, have no fucking idea what we stand for or represent. And it's kind of mind-boggling when you do know what you stand for and represent, and then talk to people who don't. And it's like, I don't know, man, it's interesting. Like when you talk to somebody who knows their purpose versus somebody who just does whatever they do, like there's a big difference. Like for example, ooh, that was hot. Excuse me. Whew, that was super hot. I like burnt my chest. Purple flowers burning my chest. Mumph. Mumph. Rose. Mumph. Okay. Let's get it together here, guys. I realize it's funny. I keep catching myself doing this where it's like a lot of shit I say. It's like you either get it and find it cool, interesting, hilarious, or something, or you think I'm an idiot or maybe not. You don't think I'm an idiot, but you have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's kind of realized how I occur to people. People either find me fascinating or like I'm just wacky and I have no idea what I'm talking about. And then people don't really treat me in between, which is, I don't know. It's just, that's something I've observed. But, so like I said, what I was realizing and what I was talking about is like, most of us men have no idea what we stand for or represent. So it's like, when you walk around Hold on. Let's take a step back. When you select the wardrobe that you choose to wear, and damn it, man, I'm fumbling all my words today, guys, and it's okay. It's perfect. When we choose our clothes, when we go shopping, we pick our shirt, our jacket, our shoes, our fucking whatever, right? Like, and I just realized I don't go shopping like that, actually. I just kind of have clothes that I've accumulated from wherever over time. Like, I don't go shopping really, or like I haven't in a long time. I don't know. I realized that like I just don't care. I was talking to my cousin the other day and I was realizing like, or like what I don't know, we were just talking about somehow we were talking about Jordans, like the shoes, and then talking about like the branding and what it represents and the symbolism and all this different stuff and different comparisons between different brands and this and that. And it made me realize, and something I'd said, I was like, I was like, dude, honestly now, like I think Jordans are fucking gay. Like I think they're cool, but they're also just lame. Like, you know what I mean? And I just realized I said, oh, that's gay. Like, and it is. Like, they are. Yo, that's funny. Because, you know, I can say that's gay, and it's up to you whether you take that as an insult or a compliment. Because if I call a gay guy gay, he's like, yeah, thanks. It's a compliment. So, if I'm calling Jordans gay, I'm complimenting him. Right? It's like, well, I don't think gay people are not cool. Like, so if I think gay people are cool, then me calling your shoes gay means that I think your shoes are cool. Huh. See the power of assumption? If you assume that I'm coming from a place of being derogatory, that's on you. And it's actually you thinking derogatory. So, I think Jordans are gay. But really, no, okay. Don't get me wrong. There's like 4 of them out of all the Jordans that are fucking sick. And I like the ones that kind of I think other people don't like. I want to say it's 12, 13, 11, 12. I forget. Don't quote me on that, dude. I have to look at the pictures if I talk about them, right? If I talk about Jordans, I got to go look them up. But what I was getting at is like, dude, I don't want to do anything where I'm representing another man's name harder than my own last name. And then my cousin made a good point, which is like, well, what about like, okay, you got Jordans, whatever. Maybe it's not representing the name. You know, it's not necessarily representing his last name. It's just the brand of it, right? And he was like, you know, like Levi Strauss, like it's just jeans and that's the brand of it. And I like it because of, you know, the quality and whatever and the material. And I'm like, right, exactly. So that's exactly what I don't like about Jordans is that there are other shoes built just as good that are just as comfortable for cheaper and with less, you know, child labor and all this shit or none. So it's like, okay, you can rock Jordans just because you like the shoes, but at the same time, if all of society made Patrick Ewing shoes like the shoes, then everybody would think the Patrick Ewings were the cool shoes. And then nobody would give a fuck about Jordans. Jordans would be like Patrick Ewing shoes, but Patrick Ewing shoes are sick. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the same as Jordans, like the legacy and stuff. But let's say it was, and it's just a different player. Everybody would follow that and whatever that looked like. Whether they look like Jordans or not, the people would still follow that because that's what everybody says is cool. So that's kind of what my point was. It was like, all right, well, look, there's a difference. With Jordans, you can, like I said, you could buy just as comfortable, better quality, and cheaper other brand shoes in comparison to Jordan versus with the pair of Levi's is its own standard of quality. Like the material and the seams and everything is its own quality. You can't go find cheaper jeans with the same quality. You see what I'm saying? So there's a big difference. It's like Levi's just stands for quality. You know, it's not necessarily upon the hype of some dude's legacy. So as with Jordans, like, that's what's funny is Michael Jordan doesn't even wear Jordans. And it's like, it's a status thing and it's a societal thing. So it's like, that's what I realized is like, well, okay, well, if you rock Jordans, you're representing something. What are you representing? Do you even know? So that's kind of my whole angle where it's like, people get it all twisted because they're so offended at times if I say like, fuck Jordans or like, you know, just kind of things like that. Like, because people are so wrapped up in it. Sometimes I gotta just fucking say shit like that just to see how people react. But there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with owning them, buying them. Like I said, I personally think a handful of them look really fucking sick. And Jordans are comfortable as fuck. I've had pairs before. So that's the thing is like, I'm not just talking shit for no reason. I also understand that there are just as comfortable other kinds of shoes for cheaper or that even look cooler or that are more, that represent something cooler, better, doper, realer, impactful, whatever, right? So it's also why, like, it's like, if you think about it, it's like why people care about lame designer stuff and name brand stuff. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with buying and wearing these brands. It's just to know what they represent and what you're signaling to people. Ow. Fucking shoulder, dude. So, that's the thing is, I see a big difference between, I don't know, it's like, I would rather, and that was another thing I said, is like, I would rather have all my clothes be stuff nobody's ever heard of. I would much rather nobody have never heard of where any of my clothes came from or the brand, or even if there is a brand or not, than to like go and do all that and be the same and to have other people think I'm cool. And it's like, I probably only find these cool because other people think they're cool. You know, how much of a Jordan would you think was cool if they were called Shaqs? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not the same. And let's say you remove the Jordan logo, everything was the same, but instead you put the Shaq logo on it. You know what I mean? Like, why all of a sudden is that not the same shoe? Why is that not as dope? Why is that not as cool anymore? What if those were fucking, like, Muggsy Bogues shoes? What if, and it's like, I'm not hating on it. No, okay. What if they were John Stockton's? What if they replaced the Jordan logo with a little logo of John Stockton? And that's the only difference. It's like the same thing when you see like knockoff Jordans. People are like, ugh, that's so whack, whatever. But it's like, yo, like, okay. But what's really the difference? Because there's a couple extra stitches on this fake one versus, you know, like the Jordan logo's got a few extra stitches. And it's like, you know, I get the refinement and all that of a Jordan. It's very refined shoe. It's like they've perfected it. And at the same time, what does it represent? And that's what I'm pointing at for everybody. It's like, all right, what do you wear? What do you do? What do we all wear and do that represents us? So like, I think about that. Like right now I'm just wearing like a crappy ass, it's not even crappy. It's just a black t-shirt. And well, I guess it's getting kind of old. And I'm wearing this goofy looking beanie that sits weird on my head when I have these headphones on. And I'm like, damn, I'm not looking my flyest by any means. So I'm realizing like I'm not representing myself entirely well. So it's like, I'm learning these things too, you know? And I think that's kind of the point this is why I say this is a seam of life to hold everything that's great and good, is that everything that's great and good has to come through some sort of darkness. And in order to come through some sort of darkness means you came to the light, which means that, yeah, that's all a whole just metaphors for stuff. But anyway, it's fascinating to that most men, I guess women too, have no idea what they really represent. We have no clue, most of us. So that fortunately there's things and people and tools and books and all these things that can help us and guide us to be able to discover what we represent, discover what we stand for. You know, it's like most people just want the next good thing, and it's like, okay, like, or like so many people are just out for themselves, and it's like, it's such a gross thing. Like, why can't we just focus on helping people more, you know? I see so many people just do little selfish things, and it's like, it's unnerving, man. But at the same time, I guess that's the test for me to be able to keep showing love and spreading love, even if people show up crappy, you know? And that's the hard thing, is to like love people when they show up super whack. Right? Especially yourself, you know? So it's just a trip that all this fashion, this, that, it doesn't really mean anything. And it's all so fake. Like, it's real, but it doesn't really, I mean, it does. That's a whole rabbit hole. So it's like fashion is a big thing. Because I'm thinking about, like, in terms of tribes people and stuff. Like, they all end up wearing their colors and their symbols and all their fashion, I guess you would call it. But it's more so like what they have access to and resources to and what plants are there. And it's like you paint out of, you know, it's like, for example, like they'll use like acacia root to plant, to paint, and they'll use like mustard seed and just all these different things to like paint and dye things and whatever. And so that kind of determines the colors that they have and represent and the types of clothes that they wear. So I guess kind of like in a way, fashion has built off of that. So you can kind of tie it back to some legit roots, but then at the same time, I feel like it's kind of lost its point. I don't know. It's weird. There's so many directions that could go. Like, I'm just kind of thinking of that out loud. But, yo. Damn, that's still super hot. Oh, shit. Damn, we're running out of time. Okay. Let me see if I can say this quickly. So what I learned. All right, you guys. Let me see if I can say this. Okay, let me just read my note and then I'll go from here. So this is about our ancestors and how our ancestors are with us at all times, no matter what. And this is also another reason and path as to why you're never alone, is because your ancestors are always with you.
Damn, dude.
So our ancestors exist within us at all times. So think about this, guys. When a female baby is born, she's already equipped with the egg and eggs of all of her children that she will have. The grandmother of that baby was born with the egg that made the granddaughter. And her great and the granddaughter's great grandmother was born with the seed of the present day granddaughter. Ever since from when she was an embryo, since the granddaughter was an embryo, she's had the seed of her great grandmother, and that present day granddaughter carries the egg. Okay, this is what I said. That present day granddaughter carries the egg of her great granddaughters times infinity. So, okay, hold on, let's keep going. Times infinity, which also means she carries the same egg as well in the opposite direction. So you've got the granddaughter. She has the egg of infinitely, her granddaughter's infinitely. That granddaughter also has the same egg as her ancestors infinitely the other direction through her great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-grandparents. So she has the same egg. So she carries the same, so the the granddaughter carries the same egg her as opposite direction until the beginning of family lineage. So the granddaughter shares and carries the same egg that came from the beginning of her family lineage. So here's the thing though, is the beginning and the end is the same because of the beginning, the beginning and the end are the same because the beginning and the end are both infinite.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
You get what I'm saying? So, granddaughter, infinitely the same egg going backwards, and granddaughter, same granddaughter, also carries the same egg infinitely going forwards until forever. So, that's why and how all of our ancestors are with us at all times.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
Bruh. Ain't that some shit? And this goes deeper and deeper too. There's the actual math on how many people it takes for you to exist right now. Maybe I'll share that one of these next ones. Yeah. Fucking A, guys. Love you guys.
Damn, dude.
Oh, you guys, peep this real quick. I was dying laughing. My son sent me this video. Or, no, he didn't send me the video. It came up on my Facebook memories. And it's me dropping into a half pipe. And it's Nate recording me. It's the funniest fucking shit ever. Listen to what he says. It's fucking classic.
Calvin the Amazing. Will he do it? He's getting ready. Oh! Amazing! Calvin the Great, with no regard for his own safety, drops in onto like an 8-foot pipe. Ah, that's something. Here goes Calvin the Great.
Damn, dude.
With no regard for his own safety. Nate, I fucking love you so much, dude. Oh my goodness. You have the best commentary. Oh my God. You guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to have some regard for your own safety. So you guys,
damn, dude.
Okay. Please be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell your best friends, cousins, uncles, backboard, basketball hoop shaper and painter who sells galvanized screws and piping to an organized crime ring about the Damn Dude motherfucking podcast. So that way, hopefully, that backboard maker, painters, galvanized screws selling mob ties can stop doing crime. I love it, guys. Appreciate you guys. Farmer licking, finger fucking, finger dipping, finger chicken, fucking, dickin', ducking, dickin', dodging, freaking, frogging. Fred. Out.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.